Diaries of a Madman. Written by What Must I Do? Chapter 8. Carnies, Teeth, and Interesting Meetings, Part 2. I immediately opened them when I felt her on my back. She jumped up and down a few times. I curled into a ball. She continued jumping, inured to my plight.
"You gotta get up, Nav,"
she yelled.
"Twilight's here to get you."
Fuck that shit, I moaned. She's just gonna throw stuff at me some more. She stopped jumping.
"What do those words mean?"
How has she never heard me say them before? They mean things little filly should know about, I said. Now get out and let me get some sleep. I imagined she rolled her eyes, which I would have found amusing if I had been able to see it. I heard her clop down to the floor.
"Fine,"
she said.
"But you're gonna get it."
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything when Twilight came up 5 minutes later, either.
"Get up, Nav,"
she said. I popped an eye open. Seeing Twilight, I slammed it closed.
"I'm not gonna ask again. We have work to do."
How did you even find me? I groaned.
"Pinkie Pie knew where you were,"
she said.
"Now get up and stop intruding on Applejack."
Fucking Pinkie Pie. I rolled over, turning my back to Twilight. She sighed. I felt something yank at my wings, dragging me off the bed. I hit the floor and didn't move.
"I'm not going to drag you all the way back to the library, Nav,"
she said. Good. That'll mean you'll give up and let me sleep some more.
"No, that means I'll do what it takes to make you get up so I don't have to drag you back."
I didn't like the sound of that. Fun, I said, pushing myself to my feet. I have a bed at the library too. She nodded, smiling.
"That's better. Now, where's Spike?"
I shrugged. Next door, I guess. She rolled her eyes.
"Come on then, Nav. Your first task of the day is to get Spike up."
Do I have to? She looked at me with a bit of a fierceness until I realized I was just being difficult. Jeez, Twilight, chill the fuck out. You're way too uptight. I swear you need to get laid or something. Her eyes opened wide and she blushed so red I immediately thought of Rainbow Dash. I just shook my head, smiling, and went to go look for Spike. I found him where I predicted. Yo, Spike, time to wake up, I said, poking him. He groaned and swatted at me. I was not amused. I bent down to his, ear? I think it was an ear. It was hard to tell with all the little spine things jutting off his head. Psst, Rarity's here, I whispered to him, and quickly pulled back and did my best to look nonchalant. He jumped right out of the bed.
"Where?"
I looked at him, pretending to be confused. Where what, Spike? He looked at me with madness in his eyes.
"I heard somebody say Rarity was here."
The confusion turned to concern. You're hearing things, man, I said. Or maybe it was just a dream. Either way, we gotta go. Twilight's here and she's decided to stop having a fit. Time for us to earn our meals. He looked at his warm bed, his warm, full-sized bed. At Twilight's library, he sleeps in a basket. He turned back to me.
"Do we have to?"
Yep, I answered, picking him up and slinging him over my shoulder. I felt his elbows go to my back as he propped his head up with his hands.
"Things were so much easier back in Canterlot,"
he reminisced.
"Whenever Twilight would start having a fit, Princess Celestia would just come by and calm her right down."
I started to walk out the door. Between you and me, Spike, Twilight needs to get fucking laid. Between him and me and Twilight and all the Apple family, actually, they were all standing in the hall when I said that. Oh, hi guys, I said, setting Spike down. Twilight was looking at the floor, turning even more shades of red. Big Mac was wearing a silly little grin, looking at the wall, and Applejack was alternating her gaze between me and Twilight, cracking up. Apple Bloom was looking at me with confusion, and Granny Smith was wearing her own little smile, staring at me with an intensity I wasn't quite comfortable with. and Spike was just plain laughing his ass off. "So, Applejack, can I borrow that bed for a few more nights?" I sheepishly asked. Applejack finally burst out laughing. Apple Bloom finally asked,
"What? Laid?"
Now Granny Smith was cracking up. "You know what?" I said. "I think I'm just gonna go stay with Rainbow instead." Starlight sighed and grabbed me and the still laughing Spike with magic and dragged us back to Ponyville. Sometime later, I shattered some teeth. Well, it wasn't actually me that shattered them, but they were my teeth. Honestly, I'm just lucky my entire jaw wasn't broken. I was playing football, with the extended Apple family and a few other friends when Applejack pretty much bucked me right in the fucking face. I went flying backwards, dropping the ball. My head felt like it had been put through an engine block, and I was spitting up enough blood that it looked like I had bit a chunk out of someone. After hundreds of apologies and a quick trip to the doctor, I was diagnosed with a serious case of missing half my teeth and a concussion, but that wasn't really permanent. Given my diagnosis, I was prescribed a trip to the dentist. Colgate. I haven't written about my past experiences with her because she scares me. The first time I went to her to get a specialized toothbrush, she freaked the fuck out over my canines. I didn't know if she was aroused or terrified or both. I just know that me getting a toothbrush turned into me getting hit with a lot of laughing gas and not remembering what happened next. I woke up with my teeth shined to perfection and a minty taste that didn't leave me for a few days. I also had a toothbrush and a card that said "Call me" on it. Ponies don't have phones. I avoided her from then out. Sadly, that exactly wasn't an option, given what happened. My teeth were fucked and I needed them fixed. Thankfully, Applejack agreed to sit with me, since it was her fault my teeth were busted. We got Colgate's... I hesitate to call it an office, but I guess that's the closest word for it. There was no line, since it would take a foolhardy person to visit her more often than they needed. Colgate was sitting at her front desk, wheeling a large, bright smile towards the door. She was a light blue unicorn with a darker blue and white mane. I stopped when I stepped inside, afraid to go any further, but Applejack pushed me in.
"You gotta get your teeth fixed, Nav. Even if it's by... Colgate."
AJ just got in and saw her staring at us with that smile.
Hi. Nav here has some broken teeth, and we were hoping you could fix them up."
She sounded a bit uncertain. Before either of us could react, Colgate was across her desk and pulled me into her back room.
"I'll have to take a look, but I should be able to fix him right up. Anything for my favorite patient."
AJ moved to follow us, but Colgate said,
"You just wait out here now. I'll take good care of him."
I looked imploringly at AJ. She saw my look and said,
"I don't suppose you'd mind if I watched, would ya? I want to see what happens."
Applejack is easily the worst liar I have ever seen. This was one of the only times I ever saw her even try to say something that wasn't true. Colgate shook her head.
"Don't you worry about him a second. I'll just take a look-see and have him back out in,
She looked me up and down, and her smile somehow grew wider.
an hour or 3. 3 hours?
AJ sputtered.
Why would it take that long? Well, if his teeth are busted out, I'll have to regrow them. And since they're broken, I'll have to file them down so they won't be jagged."
This was sounding worse and worse, making my wings droop.
I mean, if he can't even talk, surely it's pretty bad.
I sighed. She saw the state of my wings and said,
"Cheer up, Nav. I'm sure I can keep you distracted through the excruciating pain."
My eyes widened as she yanked me the last step and slammed the door behind me. Before I could recover, she threw me onto the chair made for ponies and lowered it back, leaving my upper body to dangle onto the floor.
"Oh, yeah, forgot about that."
She pulled an ottoman from somewhere and put most of my upper body on it, letting my wings dangle under me.
"Now let's get a look at those... Sweet Celestia!"
She had my mouth open, looking at what was left of my teeth.
"How did this even happen?"
I tried to say something, but nothing articulate came out.
AJ bucked you in the mouth? That was rude of her.
Well, I didn't think it was anything articulate. I guess she can understand mouth open speak. She poked one of the remnants of my teeth with some tool or something, and I flinched.
I bet that hurt, huh?
What the fuck kind of doctor are you? I gurgled as much.
Oh, I never went to medical school. I'm not a doctor.
I think my pupils shrank at that, and I tried to push my way up as she threw me back down with magic.
You have to sit still for the dentist, silly. Now let's see. How did that spell go again?
She left me struggling in the chair and walked over to a table. She picked up a book and walked back over. I saw the title was Dentistry for Dummies. Who even makes something like that?
Ah!
Her horn lit up and she bent it down to my mouth. I squeezed my eyes shut, expecting a massive amount of pain. I felt nothing. I hesitantly opened one eye to see her sitting back, watching me with a smirk.
Psh! Did you really think I would use a spell that would hurt you while you weren't even sedated?
Huh?
That spell is painless. Your teeth should be back in an hour or so. I wasn't lying about having to file them down, though. But you won't actually use a file, mind? But it'll probably be uncomfortable.
I gurgled something.
Because the look in your face was priceless.
I gurgled something else.
Oh, no, I'm still going to do that. I just wanted to see your face before I started.
My eyes had time to widen before the gas mask was forced over my face, and I had time to struggle before I was completely out. I woke up to find myself up on Applejack's back. She was carrying me somewhere. I lifted my head and noticed that I actually had all my teeth.
Oh, good. You're finally awake.
AJ stopped to let me stand. I stumbled slightly, my head still dizzy. What happened?
That crazy dentist did something to your teeth. Looks like they're all back.
I gripped my teeth, using my tongue to feel them. Yeah. Looks like they're all there. She even got the canines right.
Canines? You have dog teeth?
No. This is what they're called.
Why do you have sharp teeth anyway? You don't need teeth like that to eat our food.
They're so we can crack open fruits and nuts easier. Bold-faced lie.
Oh, huh. Well, you think you're good to get home? I need to get back to helping the family.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for looking after me.
Hey, it was my fault we were out of it anyway. I'll try to be more careful next time.
I waved her off and continued back to the library. One day, I had an unexpected visitor at a very unexpected hour. It wasn't very often that you get woken up at 3 a.m. by a princess, after all.
Navarone,
said the voice that was bothering me. Then I felt another prod on my back, something cold and unwelcome against my bare flesh. I consciously swatted it with one of my wings, since my arms were too busy being asleep. She began sputtering and I felt a feather land on my back.
Cease this foolishness and awaken.
Fuck off, I groaned, turning away from her.
Should you not awaken, I shall do something to you will regret.
Of course, I paid her no mind.
So be it. I hope you enjoy swimming.
Wait, what? Then there was a pop of teleportation, and suddenly I was lying on a lake that was completely covered in ice as the howling snow wove around me. Needless to say, I didn't sleep for much longer after that, especially since I wasn't wearing a shirt. My bare chest was up against ice, which was an absolutely horrible and painful feeling. I was still too tired to realize what the fuck just happened, but I knew that suddenly I was extremely cold and I didn't want to be cold anymore. But it was also completely dark with cloud cover, so I had no idea where the fuck I was. Since it felt like I was on ice, just about anywhere would be better than where I was. So I scrambled to my feet, wrapped my wings around myself as best I could, and started walking. Not a minute later, I teleported out again, this time to stand in front of a smiling Luna who immediately stopped smiling when she saw me.
Why aren't you covered in water?
It's fucking winter, I yelled, my teeth chattering like crazy.
Oh.
And then I shook my head to prove that, yes, I was covered in water, just water of the more frozen kind. She flinched when some of the melting snow hit her. Fuck, it's cold, I muttered, looking around. We were now in the foyer of the library inside my room. I'm going back to bed. I bet it's warm there.
Nay, I'm afraid not.
Nona said, using her magic to stop me.
Come close. Proximity shall warm you while we talk.
A blanket would be better. I sighed as I was tugged into magic into a more physical grip. One of her wings went around my shoulder as she led me into a large open space on the floor.
My elf friend should not let her friend suffer, correct?
Then why did you throw me out into the snow?
I needed you awake,
she replied, sitting down and forcing me down with her. When she had me next to her, the wing tightened its grip, and she leaned her head onto my shoulder.
There. Now you shall warm up quickly.
So soft. I sighed, my body slumping down in its tiredness.
Do not fall asleep again yet, Nav. Do you remember my offer?
No.
It involved meeting my sister.
Not ringing any bells. She snorted. I'm tired, and I had shit on my mind.
We spoke of you meeting my sister come sometime in the future. That time has come. My sister will have some time free in the coming days. I believe it is time you meet her. And she agrees, after hearing about you for so long from Twilight. She believes it is time to meet Equestria's unique resident.
Only from Twilight. And you couldn't have told me this when I woke up? Or earlier today?
I have a busy schedule as well. I came to get you when I could.
Get me? We're going to Canterlot?
Indeed. I will give you a few more moments to warm up, and then you must pack what you will need for a day or two at the castle. I suggest traveling lightly.
This is your sister we're talking about. The one that'll smite me if I'm not on my best behavior. Or if I'm not dressed just perfectly. Or if I don't address her in just the right way.
What? No.
She replied with shock on her tongue.
Tia is no brute, no monster. Why wouldst thou even think so?
Watch your language. I sighed, popping my neck to give me a moment to think. The way everyone speaks about her, she sounds like a monster. Verdi told me if I ever met her, I just absolutely had to look my best, and there's no telling what she'd do. Toilette told me that I would have to learn perfect manners on how to address her properly, or the princess would banish me. Almost everyone just seems absolutely horrified of her. No one gets that kind of reputation without a reason. She sniffed and looked away.
There is no reason for my sister to have such a reputation. True, in her early years, she was more of a hothead, but she has since cooled and molded into a more proper shape. How she allowed such a reputation to come to be, I do not know.
She was silent for a few seconds, thinking. Eventually she said,
Well, perhaps it is best that the common ponies know not to bother her. We must be aloof from the common population. I forgot that in my time away.
Why? I asked. She blinked, surprised. Why would you need to hold yourself aloof?
It is not proper,
she said after a few more seconds of thought. Says who? You two are the prime princesses of this planet, right? Don't you get to decide what's proper?
Me and my sister live longer than our subjects. It is not wise to form long-lasting relationships with them.
And yet here you are, with your wing around me. We're friends, aren't we? Are you saying that's a bad thing? As soon as I mentioned her wing, it flinched, but didn't pull back. She didn't look away, though, blushing.
We are above them. It isn't proper.
And now you're just using rehearsed lines. That got her to pull away.
Go pack, Navarone,
she somewhat coldly said.
I will remain here.
What about Twilight? I asked as I stood. If I just disappear, she'll be worried.
I will leave her a note,
she replied.
Now hurry. The sooner you return, the sooner you can begin sleeping again.
Amen to that. I wearily sighed, trudging to my stairs. When I got to my room I came to call my own, I realized I had no way of packing anything. No bags or anything. So I just shrugged and pulled out the robes I'd used for the Halloween costume, threw a few sets of clothes in the center of them, and got more fully dressed myself, tied the bundle up and walked back down where Luna was waiting.
What does Amen mean?
She asked when I got back down. It's a word to conclude a prayer or to show something we agree with.
And a prayer?
She asked.
I don't think I've heard that term.
I sighed, my wings drooping. I'm tired, Luna. Didn't you just say you were running low on time?
Avoiding the question only increases my desire to know the answer,
she said with a smile, stepping closer. Uh-huh. Well, unless you feel like carrying me to bed in the palace, I suggest you get us there soon or I'll fall asleep standing up.
So be it. But do not think I will forget this, Navarone.
My answer was a well-timed yawn.
Prepare thyself. I do not think you've had a long-distance teleportation trip yet.
Nope. How bad can it? The sound of everything disappearing cut me off. It was only for a second, before we reappeared somewhere completely different. B. I casually finished, not really perturbed.
Wait a moment.
I did, and almost immediately felt nauseous. She noticed my face and said,
It will pass. Too much magic buildup in some pony relatively unused to it causes some minor physical discomfort, but nothing dangerous.
Oh, God. I sighed, rubbing at my head with my free hand.
And now you speak of this God. You have mentioned him before.
Bed, Luna. Where's my bed? She rolled her eyes and said,
We are currently in the teleportation chamber. Come, I shall lead you to your bedchamber.
Awesome. She started walking out of the smallest room, and I followed. So do I get a personal maid or anything while I'm here?
Do you desire one?
She dubiously asked. Yeah, I like the outfits. She looked at me in surprise. But never mind. Don't even worry about it.
So, you are finally starting to find us attractive,
She asked, smiling. That's why I said never mind. I'm tired and still thinking about humans. Don't worry about it. Her eyes narrowed and she turned back.
You will need a guide, of course. The palace is large. I cannot be with you at all times, nor can my sister. I was going to assign a guard to you, but a maid is as good as anything.
That's very unnecessary. I hastily asked. Not the guide part, mind. It doesn't have to be a maid.
You requested it. I shall assign a member of the staff to you to awaken come the morning.
Damn it. I sighed. Well, I dug this grave. Might as well lie in it. Her head jerked to me when I mentioned a grave.
Thou would die over such an offense.
Jesus, calm down. It's a saying for my world. Death there's a bit more common than it is here, it seems. We joke about it to keep it off our minds. That's one of the jokes. She swatted me with her tail and continued walking again.
Be very wary of what you say, Nav. Ponies are very different from humans. Many might have done something rash if you had said such a thing near them.
Then I'll be more wary. At least I haven't told anyone I should have died at birth yet. Once again, she looked at me like some mild horror.
Such a statement is monstrous, even for a culture that glorifies death. How do you justify such a thing?
Because I'm a terrible person. Now can we hurry this up? I'm missing on some really cool dreams because of this. She snored and increased her gait.
You're lucky you can dream.
Why? Doesn't everyone?
Yet another difference between our worlds, it appears. Dreaming here is a rare thing, without magical assistance that I currently lack. But that is a discussion for another time. These will be the quarters of what you say.
The horn lit up and the door opened, revealing a nice, swanky little apartment. Nice place, I said, entering the room. No roommates, right?
You sleep here alone, unless you would prefer company.
Nah, it's cool, I said, tossing my robe full of clothing into the corner.
The bed has plentiful blankets,
she said with a nod towards it.
But if you require more heat, a fire can be set.
What? No, it's fine in here. Wait, shit. Cool in the sense is slang. It's alright the way it is. Sorry. I keep forgetting you don't know much lingo.
I'm letting more.
She quickly replied, perhaps trying to save face or something.
Is there anything else you require before I leave you?
Is it an alarm clock or something? Or do I have the schedule I need to follow? She nodded and said,
Your maid shall have everything you need with her, and she shall be your alarm clock, unless you wake up before she arrives.
All right then. I'm going to bed. Oh, and please make sure she knows I'm not a pony. I don't want her to wake up with screams and then gods.
That will not be an issue.
She replied with a nod.
Sleep well, and dream easy, Nav.
I'll try. Have fun with your work. She just rolled her eyes before departing, pulling the door shut behind her with magic. Well, shit. I said to no one in particular, kicking my shoes off and emptying my pockets. Wasn't expected to be sleeping in a palace tonight. At least the bed is nice. And soon enough, I was asleep. Thank you to my Tier 1 Patreons, Palin's Kindness, Dreamless Portal, Nine Game, Hyperlink, Jason, Chase Lemaster, Starlight Blaze, Ryan E, Dragonwolf, and Lunar Gaze. My Tier 2s, Captain Blue Shadow, Chaotic Mist, The Animated Ghost, DJMX 2000, Elemental Wolf, H1 Wolf King, HKH4, aka Texture, Mackenzie McColes, Nocturne, Papa Lennon, Redeemer of Dark, Solus Eclipse, Sword Brother and Mordred, and RD Bryant. And a large thank you to my previous Titan tiers, Dark Guardian, Danish Dash, and Maverick. And of course, a special thank you to my current Titan tiers, User 1842 and Silent Titan. I appreciate your guys' support so much and it means a ton to me. That aside, however, this has been Firehearth. Have a wonderful day.